Hi everyone, thanks for venturing back. Today I have I guess a mini tutorial for you. I've had a bunch of requests from people for how I do my angel charms that make them look like they have little feet and a halo. So, we all know this strand of beads. They come from Michael's or wherever else we can find them. But, you know, they're the little angels. And they come in different sizes, kind of different shapes and whatnot too, because I've seen them with the, this teardrop bead is a different color and it's actually smaller. And these ones are gold on the metal, and sometimes they're in silver, but they have just a plain little round bead for their head and a little daisy spacer that's supposed to be their halo. And I think they're really cute, but they're not done the way I like them. So that's what one would look like just by itself. Come on, focus. Focus, focus. There you go. Wow, it doesn't want to focus today. Go. There. Come on now. Really? Of course, when one's in the middle of wanting to get something done. Right. There we go. Okay, so see, you can kind of see how that little guy works right there. So there's that. And for my purposes, the way I like them to look like this. So here's one that I did that has just the beads with the little loop at the top. I don't know, can you see that? Little loop at the top. And that is done with, well, actually I used a head pin. Just a plain old head pin. And when I say head pin, if you look at it, you can see that it has like just a flat little edge on it. It looks like an old, back in the day, plain old stick pin, except they're not needle sharp. These are 2 inches long. And what you would do is pull your little angel off that strand. And so here are your normal beads. So you would feed that on. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Feed that on. There's the wing. Put the wing on there. Plain little bead for the head. Put that on there. And then the little daisy spacer that they use. And you can buy these in different colors, different metal types. They're literally called a daisy spacer, but for bead gallery, that's what they use as the halo. So you can take those and do that, string them on just plain like that. And to make the loop at the top to hang it on, come on, focus. Okay, no frustration today. We're just gonna focus. Let's focus. Get it over there. There you go. To make that little loop at the top, there's your strand. The bottom is the little flat part right there. And you take that and you just bend it over at a 45. See? Can you see that? See, if Goldie could hold that in her hand, y'all could see what she was doing. So there, bent over at like a 45. Not showing on the hand. Okay, hold on 1 second. See if we can fix this issue. Hold on. This might help. I've had this thing forever, and once in a great while, I actually take it out and use it. But, so, there we go. All your little parts, as they escape, all your little parts stuck on there, and you bend that over at a 45. So, bend that at a 45. What you want to do is cut that off with about a 1/4 of an inch left on. So, there's your 1/4 of an inch. And we're losing daisies. Come on. Sorry, guys. My whole new thing with a tutorial. So, there you go. Got a 45. So, you want to turn your pliers away from yourself yeah, we're going to get this. Practice. It's great. It's easy to do when you're doing it by yourself, but you try to do it in front of a gazillion people that are watching, or that you know might be watching. But, so, turn your pliers away from yourself, grab that at the end, and you don't want to bend the whole thing. You just want to bend just the little part. Bend that around, and if you have to, give it another grip a little farther up and just bend it over. So there, just like that. But that 45-degree angle makes it so that when you're done with it, it still looks like one of those. See? And it's close. It's not 100%, but it's pretty close. So that's just the normal one. That's how you would do if you wanted to just dangle that by itself. Now, when I do mine, I like them to look like this. Let's see if we can get that up there. So see, I use a bead cap and I turn it upside down. So instead of it wrapping around the bead, it points upwards and it makes it look like a halo. And the same thing with the feet. Instead of cupping that bead cap around the bottom of the bead, I point it the opposite direction, point it downwards. So it looks like a little foot. So when you're looking at it, it looks like a halo and feet. So hopefully that makes sense. So there's what it would normally look like, and there's with the little bead caps. And these are the little bead caps that I use. They're about 1/4 inch across, and they just tuck just the right direction to look like a little halo. So, okay, so here we go. We're going to give that a try. We're going to do one more. And hopefully for you guys, this makes enough sense. Okay. And I hope you can see that. But, let's see if we can get that up there any closer. Nope, not going to work. Okay, so there you go. So I put the bead cap on facing backwards. Okay, so bead cap is facing down instead of up to cup around the bead. You don't want it to cup, you want it to sit on it. And put that on. See how it's facing the wrong direction? There. So that makes the little feet. And then do the wings. And then, you know, use the bead that they have, that they've provided, or put one of your own choice on. See? And instead of sticking their little daisy spacer in there, I take another bead cap. And normally, this is what you would do if you were doing just like a regular bead cap. Put it on and it cups around the head, cups around the bead, see? I take it and turn it upside down. There. So that's what you would have. Pointing the wrong direction at the bottom and the wrong direction at the top, but it makes it look like a halo. And that rustling around you're hearing is my cat. He's attempting to be helpful. And then bend that at a 45 so you can see that. See? And even though that's off there, once you tighten that down, it will sit in like it's supposed to. So see, bend that over at a 45. Cut that off right there. Grab it with your pliers from the wrong side. or off over the offside. Refocusing, and then just bend that around and tuck it in. There you go. Just like that. So there's that. Hopefully you guys can see that and it makes sense. And I know there are some I have watched with the jump rings. I've seen people grab a jump ring and 2 pairs of pliers and stretch the jump ring this way. That is a no-no. You do not stretch it apart. You take the jump ring and you actually, with 2 pairs of pliers or with just your hand, I just use my finger, use my thumbnail, and you just turn it. So that when you hook that on, you just turn it back, line it back up, and there you go. So, jump ring. Right on there. One more time. And if you're one of those that has to use 2 pairs of pliers, line them up, get a hold of it, and just turn it just a little ways. See, I can't do that. I just use my thumbnail. So just turn it. And you don't want to spin it too far, because if you spin it too far, then you've tweaked it and it's too hard to spin it back. And it won't be a nice round jump ring. And just line it back up and stick it just like that. There you go. And sometimes when I do these, I do them with a loop at the bottom. And if you want a loop at the bottom, instead of using a head pin, you use an eye pin. And before you start, you know, they're crooked, they come that way. Some are like really, really warped and tweaked out of shape. You can see that. They're really warped or tweaked out of shape. Like, see, this one is really bent. That's not a big deal. You just grab it and kind of just, you know, fluff it back around, straighten it back up. Good to go. No big deal. So, head pin, eye pin. And they work exactly the same way. So if you want to put a dangle, you want to hang this from something, you make your loop at the top the way you normally would, right? The same way you would do like a head pin, except the eye pin is what you're using. So you put your angel bits on. And because that one is stuck, we're missing a head. So, we'll come off there, little thing. See, this is all about being prepared, guys. All about being prepared. Not overly prepared today. Okay, so, eye pin. Eye pin. Same thing. Put that on there. There's your wings and your head and your halo. That's the normal way that it comes from the store. But see, you'll notice there's an eye down there. So if you were going to hang 2 of them, you could stick them together with a jump ring and dangle whatever, right? But to make your loop at the top to hang this one, same thing. 45-degree angle, bend that over. I've seen people just leave them straight, right straight up, and cut it and then try to make that loop, and the loop never turns out like it's supposed to. It's that 45-degree angle that makes it look like it's supposed to. Because that's what they do on the end of this one. It's turned out of 45 and then they make the loop around on it. So there's that. And if this is probably as clear as mud for everybody, I am really, really sorry, but there's that. pinched on there, and then roll that over. And if you have to grab it a couple times and go about it differently, that's okay. And you'll notice I grab that and kind of shake it or whatever. And sometimes if you want your eyes to match up evenly, just grab the thing and just bend it a little. And then there, your eyes match up facing the same direction. It's not like it's a big thing, but you know, those of us that are a little anal that way sometimes. But there you go. So hopefully that's as clear as mud for you guys. If not, and you have any questions, just leave me a message. I will see what I can do to answer that for you, and hopefully that made some sense. One of the other things that I use are these crimp beads, and they're the ones that look like a little tiny tube, a little metal tube. So let's see if we can get a hold of this up here, up close so you guys can see it. Little metal tube. You'll see that it actually has a hole in it. Come on now, focus. Come on. See, it's got a little hole in it. So what I do with that little hole is to store these. They're kind of a pain. And instead of cutting it off here or cutting it off or whatever, what I do is I just unstring the bead at the end to take off as many as it is that I need to use. And then I use that crimp bead on the end. And what I was looking for is one that I've already done. So hold on 1 second and we'll see where we've left off. Okay, here's one. All right. If you look really close, you can see the bead on there. It's been stuck on and pinched because I used some of the beads off this strand. So you just cut the end, slide that crimp bead on and pinch it, and then your beads, that way you know what it was, where it came from, and I store mine on a pegboard. So there's that. It's probably clear as mud again for you guys. So crimp bead pinched on, and I use 2 and just slide them on and pinch them. So that said, here's your strand that had your beads hanging on it, and all your beads, you know, here's the top, all your beads are dangling on it, labels up here like that. Here's all your beads dangling down, and I stick one of these on the end of, put the crimp bead on, and I took my glasses off. I can't see, guys. Gosh, I am doing good today. So put that on there. There's your crimp bead on the end of your plastic, and just pinch that bead and pinch it on. That is a crimp bead. They're very, very inexpensive. There's usually quite a few of them in the package, but the thing is that you can leave your original beads on the package that you got them from, so you know where you got them, how they looked, especially if you want to keep your pattern design for whatever it is that you're using, and you don't have a bunch of beads laying in a bowl somewhere that you're thinking, okay, where did I get those, and that was really pretty the way it was lined up, blah blah blah. But there you go, crimp bead on the end to keep your stuff where you wanted it. And the only reason why I use 2 is just for the extra added, just in case, so I know I don't lose anything. So there's that. But that's how I store my beads, just so you guys know. There you go. Okay, well, thanks everyone for watching. Hopefully that made that clear for you. Not really sure if it did or it didn't. And like I said, if you have any questions or you want to know anything else of what it is that I've done, leave me a message, private message me. However it is you feel like you need to contact me, let me know, and I will see if I can answer your questions for you. But there you go. Angel with a foot and a halo right there. and angel with a foot and a halo that you can add a dangle to the bottom. So there you go. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a nice day. Bye now.